Have you ever met someone for only a few minutes, only to realize that your small act of kindness changed their life forever? Sometimes the people we help when no one is watching end up leaving the biggest mark on our own hearts. This is one of those stories. It begins on a rainy evening, with a broken car, two frightened young women, and a stranger who simply couldn't drive away. Before we begin, if stories about kindness and hope remind you that good people still exist, please subscribe to Kindness Library, like this video, and leave a comment telling us where you're watching from. Your support helps us share more true-to-life stories that inspire people around the world. It had been raining for nearly 3 hours when I finally closed my small auto repair shop. The parking lot was almost empty, and I couldn't wait to get home, dry off, and spend the evening with my golden retriever, Max. As I drove along a quiet country road just outside town, my headlights caught something unusual. A small blue sedan was parked on the shoulder with its hazard lights blinking. Two young women stood beside it, soaked from head to toe. One of them held an umbrella that had turned inside out because of the strong wind. Most cars drove past without slowing down. For a second, I almost did the same. It had been a long day, and I was exhausted. But then I noticed the worried look on one of their faces. It reminded me of my younger sister years ago when she had been stranded on a highway with no one willing to stop. I pulled over. "Everything okay?" I asked as I walked toward them. The taller woman smiled politely, even though she looked nervous. "I don't think so," she said. The engine suddenly stopped. "We called roadside assistance almost an hour ago, but they said it could be another 2 hours." Rainwater dripped from my jacket as I looked under the hood. "I'm Jake," I said. "I'm Emma, and this is Lily." The battery connections looked fine, but after checking a few things, I found the real problem. One of the ignition coils had come loose after hitting a deep pothole. It wasn't a major repair. "You might be lucky," I said. Within 15 minutes, the engine came back to life. The sound of the motor starting made both women cheer. "You fixed it." Lily laughed. "I guess today is your lucky day." Emma reached into her purse. "Please let us pay you." I shook my head. "It took 15 minutes. Just promise me you'll drive carefully. The roads are terrible tonight." They looked surprised. "Seriously?" Emma asked. "Seriously. People had helped me when life had been difficult. Saying no to their money felt like the right thing to do." Before leaving, Lily smiled. "We want to see you again someday." I laughed. "Hopefully not because your car breaks down again." They laughed too before driving away into the rain. Honestly, I thought that would be the end of it. 2 weeks later, Saturday morning arrived with clear blue skies. My repair shop was busy as usual when someone knocked on the office door. It was Emma and Lily. This time they weren't wet, frightened, or stressed. They carried 2 large boxes. "We found you," Lily said with a huge smile. Inside the boxes were homemade cookies, sandwiches, coffee, and thank you cards signed by students from the local community college. I looked at them in confusion. "What's all this?" Emma smiled. "You probably don't remember everything we told you that night." I tried to think back. She continued. "We were driving home from visiting our grandmother at the hospital. She passed away early the next morning." Silence filled the room. "If you hadn't stopped, we would have been stuck on that road for hours. Because you fixed the car so quickly, we made it back in time to spend her final evening with her." I didn't know what to say. Sometimes people never realize how important a single decision becomes. Emma handed me a small envelope. Inside was a handwritten letter. It explained how their grandmother had always believed kindness connected strangers in ways people couldn't understand. At the bottom she had written years before she became sick. "If someone helps you without expecting anything in return, don't pay them back. Pay it forward." Emma looked at me. "We couldn't pay you back, so we decided to volunteer every weekend at the community food bank." Lily smiled. "And we wanted you to know that you're the reason we started." For the first time in a long while, I felt tears forming in my eyes. The following month, they invited me to visit the food bank. I almost said no because I was busy. Then I remembered how close I had come to driving past them that rainy night. So I went. The place was full of volunteers of every age. Teenagers packed groceries. Retired couples sorted donations. Children wrote cheerful notes to families receiving food. Emma introduced me as the mechanic who reminded us kindness still exists. I felt embarrassed. I only fixed a car. An elderly volunteer overheard me. "No," she said softly. "You fixed much more than that." Over the next year, volunteering became part of my routine. Every first Saturday of the month, I closed my shop early. Sometimes I repaired cars for single parents who couldn't afford expensive repairs. Sometimes I changed tires for elderly neighbors. Sometimes I simply listened to people who needed someone to hear their story. Kindness turned out to be contagious. One customer noticed what we were doing and donated tools. Another offered free oil changes for veterans. A local bakery began dropping off fresh bread every Friday. The small wave kept growing. One rainy evening, almost exactly 1 year after meeting Emma and Lily, another car stopped outside my repair shop. A young college student stood beside it looking worried. Without thinking twice, I grabbed my toolbox. As I walked toward him, I smiled. "Looks like you could use a hand." He smiled with relief. "Yeah. I really could." In that moment, I realized kindness never truly ends. It simply moves from one person to another, often in ways we never get to see. I still keep Emma's grandmother's handwritten note in a frame inside my office. Whenever someone insists on paying extra for a small repair, I read those final words again. Don't pay kindness back. Pay it forward. Life gives every one of us chances to become someone else's answered prayer. Most of those moments don't look extraordinary. They happen on rainy roads, in grocery stores, at school, at work, or in a simple conversation with a stranger. We may never know how deeply our actions affect another person, but that doesn't make them any less important. If this story reminded you that compassion is still alive in the world, carry that feeling with you today. Hold the door for someone. Help a neighbor. Offer encouragement to a stranger. One small act can create a chain of hope that reaches farther than you ever imagined. Kindness costs very little, but its impact can last a lifetime.